I want to start today by asking you to do a little visualization exercise with me.
Okay.
I promise it's worth it. Just close your eyes for a second, unless you're driving, of course. Please don't do that.
Right.
And picture a bag of dog food. Just standard 50-pound bag, the kind you really have to heave into your car.
Yeah, the kind where you worry a little about your lower back.
Exactly that kind. Now, I want you to picture 800 of those bags,
Yes.
all stacked up.
Okay, that's a lot of bags.
We are talking about 20,000 kilograms. 20 metric tons.
Which, to put that in perspective, is like the weight of 10 SUVs. It's a literal mountain of kibble.
It's a staggering amount. And when you see a number like that in a headline, which is where we're starting this deep dive today, your brain immediately goes to one place. It thinks problem solved.
Right. Feels like the end of the movie. The music swells, the credits roll.
And everyone lives happily ever after.
Yeah, it feels like enough food to last forever.
That was my exact reaction. I saw the source material, the 20-ton miracle, feeding the land of strays. And I thought, well, this is going to be a feel-good episode. I was ready to pop the champagne.
Wait,
But you're giving me that look.
The I've done the math look.
That is the one.
Well, there's a reason. Today we're looking at this massive charity event in Costa Rica from January 2026. And that headline number, 20 tons, it's real. It happened. But our mission today is to look behind that number, to apply a really unvarnished lens to what 20 tons actually means when you're up against a crisis of this size.
So no champagne then?
Maybe keep the cork in for now, because the math gets terrifying pretty quickly.
Okay, let's unpack this. Before we get to the terrifying part, let's give credit where it's due. How do you even collect 20 tons of dog food?
Well, this was a highly coordinated corporate campaign. It was called the Zaguatón Navideño.
Zaguatón, I love that name.
It's great, isn't it? A zaguate is Costa Rican slang for a mutt, a street dog, so it's kind of like the big Christmas muttathon.
And the organizers, Hyundai Grupo Q, they didn't just ask for donations. They engineered this, this multiplier effect.
Exactly. This is the smart part. They gamified it. If you went into a Hyundai showroom and donated 1 kilo of food, Hyundai matched it. Kilo for kilo.
So your donation instantly doubles. That's a great incentive.
But then they added another layer. The pet food brand Balance came in and agreed to double any donations of their specific product.
So you could triple or even quadruple your impact.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. And you can see how it snowballed to 20 tons so fast. It's brilliant, really.
It is. And again, my first reaction was just pure relief. I thought, okay, whoever's getting this food, they are set.
Set for life.
Yeah. It feels like winning the lottery. But to understand why that's wrong, we have to talk about who got the food.
And that would be Territorio de Zaguates, the land of the stray dogs.
Now, if you haven't seen the videos of this place, you need to. Because when you hear dog shelter, you picture like concrete runs and chain link fences.
That smell of bleach.
Exactly. This is the complete opposite. It's a no-kill sanctuary way up in the mountains of Costa Rica, founded by a woman named Laia Battle. And they don't use kennels.
They roam free.
They roam free. It's this huge, lush, green mountain ridge. And there are just hundreds of dogs running in this giant, joyful pack. It looks like heaven.
It does. It looks like paradise. But here's where the unvarnished reality crashes in. We are not talking about 50 dogs here, or even 100.
Right.
The source material puts the population at nearly 2,000 dogs.
2,000.
Yeah.
Just let that number sink in. I have one dog. 2,000 is a city.
It is a city, and that's the variable that changes all the math, because now we have to divide that 20-ton mountain by 2,000 hungry, active dogs living outdoors.
Okay, I'm ready. Ruin the moment for me.
Do the napkin math.
It's what the source calls the unvarnished math. First, we have to look at the burn rate. These aren't lap dogs napping on a couch. They're running up and down mountains all day.
So they need a lot more calories than my dog. Significantly more. According to the data, just to maintain basic survival weight, not even to get fat, just to keep their ribs from showing, Territorio needs about 6,000 kilograms of food.
Okay.
Every single week.
Whoa, wait. 6,000 kilos. That's 6 metric tons a week.
Every single week.
Okay, hold on. My brain is catching up. The miracle donation was 20 tons. But if the burn rate is 6 tons a week...
Do the division. 20,000 divided by 6.
That's 3. A little over 3.
Just over 3 weeks.
That's devastating.
It's sobering, isn't it? This massive national campaign, all the marketing, the corporate sponsors, the thousands of citizens donating. It keeps the lights on for maybe 22 days.
It doesn't even get them through a full month.
No.
That totally changes how you see the headline. It's not problem solved. It's crisis delayed.
That's a perfect way to put it. This isn't to diminish the donation. 20 tons is incredible.
Yeah.
But it just relates that even a huge corporate intervention is just a temporary Band-Aid on a wound that is just hemorrhaging.
It shows you the terrifying scale of the crisis. If 20 tons is a drop in the bucket must be bottomless.
Practically, yeah.
So let's think about Laia Battle, the founder. If I'm her and those trucks roll up, am I happy or am I just panicked about what happens in week 4?
You're both. But mostly, you're just relieved you survived January. And this gets to a key concept the source calls the starvation gap.
The starvation gap.
Uh,
Why January specifically? You'd think people would be more generous around the holidays.
You would think, but for stray dogs in Costa Rica, it's a disaster. Laia says abandonment rates spike right around Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, let me guess. The whole Christmas puppy thing.
Exactly. People get a cute puppy, it's not house-trained by New Year, so they just dump it. Or families go on vacation for the summer. Remember January's summer there, and they just leave the dog behind.
That's just heartbreaking.
It is. So at the exact moment, the sanctuary's population is swelling with new mouths to feed.
Public donations dry up because everyone's broke from the holidays.
Precisely. You have a spike in demand and a crash in supply. That is the starvation gap.
So this donation, this Zaguatan, it's not a bonus. It's a defensive wall.
It's a critical bridge. Without this specific campaign, the sanctuary could have faced a total collapse in food stocks during their busiest time of year. It wasn't about getting ahead. It was about not going under.
That completely reframes it for me. It's a miracle of survival. The miracle of just living to fight another day.
Exactly. But let's pivot to the economics for a second, because you asked, if the food only lasts 3 weeks, why is it such a huge deal?
Right. If you're back at square one in February, what's the point?
It's about this idea of cash flow versus kibble. It's about liquidity, fungibility.
Okay, fungibility. Break that down for us. What does that mean for dogs?
It just means that resources can be interchanged. Money is the best example. So Laia Battle has, say, $10,000 in the bank. She has to spend it on food or the dogs starve. But if Hyundai drops 20 tons of food on her doorstep, suddenly she doesn't have to spend that $10,000 on kibble for those 3 weeks.
The food donation unlocks the cash.
It frees it up. She can take that cash and aim it at what the source calls the crippling expenses that you can't pay for with kibble.
You can't pay a vet in dog food.
You can't. And the medical costs are astronomical. Emergency surgeries for dogs hit by cars, treatments for tick-borne diseases like Ehrlichia, which is everywhere down there.
Ehrlichia. That sounds bad.
It is. It attacks the blood cells, causes organ failure, and trying to prevent ticks on 2,000 dogs in a rainforest is a logistical and financial nightmare.
And all of that costs cold, hard cash.
Cash. And then there's the most important long-term expense, mass castrations.
Which is the only way you actually solve the problem long term.
Correct. Spaying and neutering is an investment. Every dollar spent there prevents thousands of dollars in future food costs for puppies that are never born.
That's a powerful way to look at it. The donation buys them the time and the resources to stop just treading water and actually swim for a little while.
That's it exactly. The donation buys time. It lets the sanctuary be a hospital, not just a cafeteria.
I want to zoom out for a minute. This whole event, it says something about the broader society in Costa Rica, doesn't it? The source called it the unvarnished life.
Yeah, it really highlights the fragility of the social safety net there. We have this image of Costa Rica as pura vida, ecotourism and sloths.
Right.
But this crisis is just too big for the government to handle. There's no state-run Department of Stray Dog Feeding.
So the solution isn't a government program. It's a woman on a mountain and a car dealership.
It's a patchwork. That's the perfect word. The system relies entirely on this fragile patchwork of private individuals like Laia Battle and these sporadic infusions of corporate aid, like from Hyundai, if one of those fails.
The whole thing collapses. It feels so precarious.
It is. It's a permanent crisis being managed by temporary miracles. The 20-ton miracle is a great headline, but the subtext is that the system itself is broken.
A sustainable system shouldn't need miracles just to function.
Right. It should have a budget, infrastructure. This has heroic individuals and, frankly, panic. And look, what if next year Hyundai supports a different charity?
Then the dogs don't eat.
The dogs don't eat, the castrations don't happen, the population explodes again.
It makes you appreciate the burden she's carrying. I mean, can you imagine waking up knowing you need almost a ton of food just to get through that day?
It's an unimaginable weight. It's knowing that you are the only thing standing between 2,000 animals and starvation.
So that headline, 20,000 kilograms,
Mhm.
it's not a happy ending. It's just a to be continued.
It's a reprieve, a very welcome, very necessary reprieve, but it's not a solution.
I think that's the key takeaway here. It's so easy to see the feel-good headline, click like, and keep scrolling.
But we have to look at the denominator. 20,000 kilos divided by 2,000 dogs. The math doesn't lie.
And the math is brutal.
It's unvarnished. And it forces us to confront the true scale of the need.
You know, we started by picturing that mountain of food, and I saw a monument to success. Now, I just see a clock ticking down.
Tick, tick, tick. 1 ton a day.
That's a haunting image. 1 ton a day just vanishing into the mountains. It really raises the stakes of what they're doing. This isn't just a shelter. It's a high-wire act with no net.
And the Zaguates was the balancing pole that helped them steady themselves for another few yards.
So what does this mean for the person listening? I think it challenges us to look past the big event charity.
I agree. The galas and giant checks are great for awareness. But the boring stuff, the monthly recurring donation, the steady supply chain, that's what actually saves lives here.
Because the dogs eat in February too.
And March and April. The unvarnished math shows us that consistency beats intensity every time.
I love that. Intensity grabs headlines. Consistency solves problems.
That's the difference between a miracle and a strategy.
Well, we've definitely stripped the varnish off this one. We've gone from a celebration of 20 tons to the sober realization that it buys just 3 weeks of safety and a lifetime of struggle.
But hopefully that leads to a deeper respect for the work being done. It is heroic to run a sanctuary when you are calculating kibble down to the gram.
Absolutely. And this campaign gave them a fighting chance for another month.
It cleared the starvation gap. And that is worth something.
So here's the final thought I want to leave you with. We know the 20 tons buys 3 weeks. We know January is safe. But I want you to ask yourself, if it takes a record-breaking national corporate campaign just to survive January.
What happens in February, and how long can one woman and a patchwork of donors hold back the tide of a national crisis?
That's the question. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Keep looking at the math.
See you next time.